Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another Friday lecture. And this week I want to talk about why we invest our energy in the problems of others. What is this about? So, when I look at it, my life is my life. It's a life over which I have complete control and the right to do whatever I choose to do. And this, well, quite frankly, it should keep me busy enough. With all the problems and the issues that arise, looking after my own life should be enough. But for some reason, we as human beings, we absolutely love being involved in the lives of others. And in fact, some people actually demand that we get involved in their lives. And then what happens is our life begins to get messy as we become entangled in all the traumas and the energy of that other person. And people love to draw us in. We all know the phrase, to wrap someone round our little finger. And this is effectively what happens. When someone latches onto our energy, unless we're very careful, we end up basically doing their bidding. We end up being at their beck and call. And so their traumas begin to become ours. Like a spider through weaving a web, we fall in and we get trapped. And we think at first, we're being helpful. We are helping change their life, helping them to become more of who they are. But we're not really. We're just getting more and more entangled in their dramas and actually helping them to create and sustain their own dramas. We may not even realize that we become completely tied into other people. We may not realize that our behavior, our emotions are actually now dependent on the relationship with this other person, codependent. It can be subtle at first, but gradually we find that we are no longer in control of our decisions, in control of our feelings. But on some level, we feel important. We have a role, we have a place. And we feel like we have a place in the universe and that we are finally doing something worthwhile, finally doing something to help the universe. But then gradually we become drained, our energy exhausted, and our lives begin to fall apart. The other person is still having their dramas, all their needs met, all their needs maintained. But us as the person who is constantly giving, who is entangled in this web, our lives begin to suffer and we begin to feel small and disempowered. But we can also become entangled not because some other person drags us in, but because we want to push ourselves out there. We want to become entangled. We want to invest our time, our energy in their lives. And we have a terrific love of being nosy. You see this, if there's an accident on the motorway, everybody has to slow down to have a look, to make a comment. Gosh, I wouldn't have driven like that. We see it on TV, all these reality TV shows. We're always asked to make a comment. Who would you vote for? What would you have done in this situation? A constant judgment, a constant, why not come and get involved in this person's life? And it's almost a spying, on their lives. It's an intrusion. It's a wonderful diversion from our lives. When we want to be involved in somebody else, it means that we don't have to spend that time looking at our own lives, figuring out what's going on with us. We can step away from the boredom, the frustration, the sense of powerlessness that we feel. It's also in the newspapers. They encourage us to get involved, leave a comment, judge someone. This is what all social media is based on. We're encouraged always to express an opinion on the decisions that other people make, the lifestyle that they choose to live, even on the clothes that they wear. And so gradually we're pulled in and we become so entangled, so tied up. So we're no longer just living our own life. We can really no longer clearly see what it is that we need because we are so tied up. And if you imagine that if we make a judgment upon someone else's decision in life, oh no, I wouldn't have done that, then when it comes to ourselves being perhaps a similar situation and we are called upon to make a decision for ourselves, rather than listening to our own hearts and thinking, what is it that I need? Instead, we're influenced and we say, but I remember that other person doing this and it was bad for them. So rather than trusting our own innate wisdom, we are influenced and guided by the judgments that we have made on the lives of other people. So seeing our life becomes much, much harder, seeing it with clarity. But as I said, in addition to becoming entangled, we also end up giving away our energy. All our energy, all our passion, all our interest is then sent to other people. We devote ourselves to them rather than to our own journey. You know, we invest everything that we have, everything that we are in other people. And as I've said, depending on how we see or judge others, influences greatly how we see or judge ourselves. Our perception of them creates an energy also which maintains them in their trauma. You know, every time someone says, don't you see what I'm going through? Oh, yes, I do. I empathize with you. We are actually helping them stay in their victim place rather than empowering them to stand up and be true to themselves, which we would do if we reached a place of neutrality within ourselves. So by giving an opinion, we are in a sense removing their freedom of self-determination. They end up trusting us, trusting our opinions more than they trust themselves, and vice versa. Now, this isn't about not caring. You know, caring gives us the ability to step into someone's lives and say, I'm here to help you. I'm here to empower you, to help you stand up for yourself. I'm here to help you live your life freely as you wish. But when we insert our energy into their lives, this is the ego coming in. And the ego loves to make us feel special. It loves to say, look what you're doing, aren't you brilliant? And it is interfering, unfortunately. It is about removing the autonomy of the other person. Just as someone coming into our lives, intruding in our lives, removes our autonomy. So we no longer live the life that our heart, that our soul wishes to guide us to live. So the only way to a truly, truly happy life, both for ourselves and for other people, is actually to involve ourselves only in our decisions. Step away from the gossip, from the judgments that we wish to make, that we're encouraged to make on other people. Allow people to live the life they need to live. Allow them to make the mistakes that they need to make in order to grow. And in turn, they will allow us to make the mistakes. It's not abandoning. It is allowing us to flourish, just as a flower grows from the ground. It is allowing us to flourish and blossom into who we are. And first of all, it can seem very strange. You know, the idea of leaving somebody to fall over, to make a mistake. But actually, it's the most important thing that we can ever do for them. And the way to true happiness, as I've said, is just for us to focus on the one life that I actually have some say over. And that is mine. And that is yours. So I hope that will help you perhaps in viewing any relationships that you currently have. Perhaps they need reassessing. Perhaps the lines need redrawing or barriers to come in. Remember that becoming disentangled is not about being uncaring. In fact, it is about caring even more for those that you love. So thank you so much for joining me here, and I look forward to being back with you next week. So many light blessings to you. Bye-bye.